guys, and welcome back to my channel. Daily Dreamer here. So I just want to say sorry for not really uploading the last couple of weeks. I've just been enjoying a nice couple of weeks off work with my fiance, so it's just been nice to spend a bit more time together. Yes, we do live together, but it's nice sometimes to get alone time and not have to worry about going to work. You can just like relax and chill, don't have to worry about set times of waking up or anything. But yeah, we had a really nice time. We actually went away to Great Yarmouth for about 3 nights, and we've also been doing some wedding planning, so that's been really exciting, and that's what the aim of this video is today. As you can probably see from the title, it's like an updated to my wedding ideas. You guys may have already seen the video that I put out quite a while ago, which was my wedding ideas. If you haven't seen it already, I'll link it down below for you. But I didn't have many ideas when I put that video out. I just spoke to you about a few that we had spoke about or that I had in mind. But since that video, there's been loads of wedding talk been going on in our household with my fiance, with my mum and dad. We've been speaking about a lot of things that we want at the wedding, and we actually went to view 2 wedding venues last week, so that was really exciting. I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about what we've decided, what ideas that we have, any that have updated since I last spoke to you, and yeah, I don't want to give too much away, but I just want to give you a little insight of what our wedding will be like. So I actually have my wedding planning book here, so I've just wrote down some notes in there that I don't forget to speak about, because sometimes I can just ramble on and forget to talk about something, so I've got that with me. So let's just see what the first one on the list is. So back in March, way before coronavirus happened, well, we knew that it was happening, but before the actual lockdown started, me, my mum and my sister went to a wedding fair in Enfield, which was the Royal Chase Hotel, and I met someone to do with rings. So the company was called Smooch, Smooch Rings, and I met a lovely lady called Andrea that was obviously talking about the rings that they had. I saw a lot of like selection, and they looked really beautiful, and even the men's rings looked really nice, because I know Terry had no idea of what ring he would want because he's never worn a ring before and didn't know sort of like what metal, if he wanted a pattern on it, what size and everything like that. But I took a few pictures to show him when I got home. But we have made an appointment to meet up in April, so it would have been the next month, just after my birthday, to obviously for her to come round and do the sizing, show off some rings and see if we can make a decision. But due to coronavirus, unfortunately, we had to cancel that. But she was having an offer going on at the time because they were celebrating their 20 years as a company. They were doing a deal where the cheapest ring would be half price, which I thought was really amazing, but the deal was only going on for a certain time. During lockdown, Andrea had actually given me a call to see how I was doing, and obviously to let me know that we wouldn't be able to go ahead with the appointment that we booked, but that the offer would be up until August 2020. So I thought that was really nice of her to like extend it. Obviously it was probably a company decision, but I thought that was really nice, and we had actually rebooked for July. I think it was about the 27th of July, so towards the end. And by that time we did get good news that we were allowed to have people into our home. Obviously we were very clean. She had sanitised everything. We hand sanitised before we touched any of the rings, like me and Terry. We made sure that we were not too close to her. We had tables set up so she could put her stuff down, that we didn't have to be too close. So it was very controlled and social distance, but it was a really good meeting. It was really lovely to have Andrea come round with loads of selections of rings. It was a lot to think about, but she gave us an empty tray each and showed us loads of different rings, obviously ladies, men's, and we were able to pick the rings that we liked and put it in this empty tray, and then obviously whittle it down to the ones that we really liked. And we both chose one that actually really complements each other really well. I'm not going to show a picture because I want it to be a surprise when I get married. Any guests that are watching this, as I mentioned before, I don't want to give too much away. I have actually both chosen rings. I will say little details that they're both 9-carat white gold rings. So we're both happy with how they look, and we've both got a ring size. Terry is a P and I am an I. So I've got really tiny rings. He bought me the smallest size he could when he actually bought the engagement ring, which was an L, but I had to get it personally made 3 sizes down because my fingers are just so tiny. So, but it's nice that we both got our set ring sizes. We've got we've basically paid the deposit for it, and all we have to do is then pay an amount at the beginning of our wedding year, which will be 2022, and then we get our rings. So it's all been sorted, and that was actually the first thing about the wedding that was like set in stone that we've actually paid for. So that was really exciting, and I can't wait to obviously get the rings back. And one thing that was really good about Smooch rings, I will link them down below, they've got a Facebook and a website. They were really good, the way that they handled everything, and Andrea had really good customer service. But they're doing like a free lifetime guarantee, so if you need it cleaning or ring size needs sort of like adjusting due to anything like swelling or anything like that, then you can speak to them about it, which I thought was really good. Okay, next thing on the list, which is obviously really exciting, which is venues. So I spoke to you guys last time about having a barn style wedding venue, and we have stuck to that theme. As I mentioned, we actually viewed 2 wedding venues, which was exciting. They're both quite close to our area where we live, so it's not too far away for people to get to. Obviously, we do have people that will be travelling quite far, but in terms of people that live sort of like close by to us, it's not that hard to get to. Didn't want to be travelling like too far away. I'm not gonna mention the names of the wedding venues again, I don't want to give too much away, but we saw 2 venues on that day, one at about 11 and one at about 1 o'clock, and they were about 15 minutes away from each other, so it's really easy to get from one appointment to the other. Spent about an hour at each just looking around. It was really nice to sort of like see it in person. Pictures are amazing, but when you go there, it doesn't always do it justice, and you can't always picture the size or where you want to put things, because in the pictures they're already sort of like made up. Whereas when we went to the venues, you could see the full space, how you would want to use it, where would you put everything, where would you have your photos and things like that. It was just really nice to see them up close. And for one of the venues, we've actually put a provisional hold for a certain date. So there was a date that I really wanted in 2022, which was the Saturday the 14th of May. So that is the date that I really wanted us to get married. I think May is a beautiful time. It's spring, it's just the sort of like sometimes the start of summer. Like sometimes we can get really beautiful heat wave weather in May. Sometimes it's not as hot, but it's still sunny and warm. So I think May's really good, because I didn't really want a winter wedding. I'd be too cold. I never like being too hot, so I wouldn't probably like July, August. Sometimes even September can be like really hot. So yeah, I thought May, sort of like springtime, was going to be a really good month. I just thought the 14th of May just rolled off the tongue and sounds really nice. So we've put a provisional hold on the venue for about 2 weeks, until we just sort out all the quotes and a deposit. And once that's sorted, then it's not just going to be on a hold, it will be our venue for our wedding. So I'm really excited. The space is amazing. My mum and dad came with me and Terry to see the venue, because I wanted them to have an opinion as well, maybe give us some thoughts about the venue that we may have not even thought of. But my mum and dad were really impressed with it. They were happy with the information that the sort of like wedding consultants told us. It was a big thumbs up from all of us, even Terry. He was really impressed with it as well, and had some ideas of like where things could go. And we can't wait to just, you know, have a lovely wedding day, and we know it's going to be amazing at that venue. Okay, so I'm just looking at my notes here. So the next one is colour theme. So obviously I mentioned to you guys before that there was a colour theme that we were thinking of, which was burgundy and rose gold, because we had that at our engagement party. So again, if you missed any of the information that I spoke to last time, last video is linked down below. But I said burgundy and rose gold, but we've actually decided on burgundy and navy. So I did mention before as well about a rustic blue colour that would match sort of like the vintage feel for the barn. But actually navy, I feel like, is a really strong colour and really blends well with burgundy. So the idea is that the bridesmaids will be in burgundy dresses and the men will be in navy suits. So I just think that colour palette really suits together. So I'm so glad that we've both sort of like are happy with the decision. And it kind of goes with our favourite colours as well. Terry's favourite colour is red, so obviously burgundy is a deep red, and my favourite colour is blue, and obviously navy is a deep blue colour. So one thing that I've actually pretty much sorted is the all-day guest list. So obviously we're going to be having guests that are coming to the actual ceremony and the evening, but then there will be people that will be invited just to the evening only, so like to the reception party bit. But for the all day, I've pretty much got the guest list all sorted, and I've actually sorted out who's going to be sitting on what table. So we're probably going to have about 7 tables and then the top table, so there'll be 8 altogether, which I think is quite a nice number. And the only thing that sort of like hit and miss is actually my grandparents. So unfortunately they're all sort of like lacking mobility now, and it's not that they don't want to come and obviously see their granddaughter get married, or that I don't want my grandparents to see me get married or to be there or anything like that, but it just takes it a lot out of them. Like, I can't expect them to be there the whole day just sitting around. Yes, of course, watching me get married, and that's going to be an amazing moment for them, but while photos are being taken, I can't be expecting them to sort of like move everywhere. When the venue people are setting up the room, I can't expect my nan and granddad, it'll be my 2 nans and my granddad, to sort of like move out of that room, sit them down somewhere else, then move them back. It's just really hard, especially if there's going to be stairs there, which there's not many stairs, but there is sort of like a few steps to sort of like get into the venue, so I wouldn't want the mobility to be really struggling for them. One thing that we're hoping to do is obviously video it. I have no ideas on who to ask. We're hoping to go to a few more wedding venues to sort of like maybe have a look at photographers, videographers. But if we film the day, they'll be able to capture that moment and actually see the ceremony, see me and Terry saying our I do's to each other. So I know they won't physically be there, but to show them our wedding day will be amazing. That's the only thing that's on the guest list that's kind of like, we're not quite sure. They'll be invited, so I will send obviously them invites, but so I don't want them to come. I just want them to think about their health as well, because that comes more important than obviously a wedding. And for me to be able to tell them that, look, it's going to be filmed, we're going to have loads of photos, so you will be able to see it. It's just obviously we don't want you to feel like you'll struggle on the day. So that's the only thing. But apart from that, I've got sort of like the table sorted. I can't wait to sort of save the dates. So I think I showed this in my previous video of these sort of like mason jar magnets that we're going to send out. I'll try and insert a picture here. It's just so that people can obviously put up on their fridge to know that they need to save that day. And I'm hoping to sort of send out a few cards, not the magnets, but just like write a few cards out for the evening only, because I feel bad not sending out a save the date to people to obviously, so they know that they're probably potentially going to be invited, but they don't necessarily need to save the whole day if they are only invited to the evening. So yeah, I'm going to think about that, and we're probably going to send them out with like Christmas cards or around Christmas time, just before we go into 2021, just so people are aware of when the wedding date is going to be. So one thing that is still like an idea, and I haven't set anything in stone yet, is about hair and sort of like makeup and nails and things like that. So with hair, I'm hoping to sort of still have it down, but I want it nice and curly, because I tend to only go with really like straight hair. I only really tend to have curly hair when it is like a special occasion, and what's more special than your wedding? So I will have it sort of like curly, but I kind of want it sort of like quite pushed back a bit, because when it's pushed back it's got like nice volume in my hair, but then have like a plait going round the back to sort of like keep the back of the hair like pushed up, and then have jip, you know, like the little white flower, sort of like, I'll try and insert a picture and that put that in the back of the hair, because that's very rustic, that's very sort of like vintage barn style wedding hair, I guess. I don't know if there's like a set theme for it, but I just feel like that would be really pretty. If I was gonna have my hair up, again, I'll try and insert pictures around just so you can sort of like get my vision. Again, I'd want it sort of like, if it's gonna be up, then sort of like a bun but with like plaits. I don't know, like I just feel like a plait would be really nice. Makeup, I'm not quite sure, because again, I don't know sort of like what to go for. I do want it quite glamorous. I don't want it sort of like too overboard. The one thing that I would like is eyelashes, because I do obviously put mascara on, but it doesn't always make my eyes pop. So I feel like with eyelashes, it really sort of like makes your eyes stand out. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have obviously talk about it with a makeup artist. Again, I'm hoping to find a makeup artist and hairstylist at a wedding venue so we can go through everything. And obviously they'll sometimes know what's best for you, what your complexion, skin tone, colours that really match. Obviously with burgundy, will I have sort of like a burgundy lip colour? That would be quite nice, but not have too much sort of like eye makeup and blusher, maybe bronzer. I'm sort of like very minimal when it comes to makeup. Obviously I'll try and make myself look nice, but I think I'll leave it to a makeup artist. I'll try and find some ideas of nice glamorous wedding makeup on my phone so they know what to sort of like base it around, but sometimes I'm really happy to sort of like let someone give me that advice. If they're a makeup artist, they'll know a lot more, especially for weddings. They'll know what probably suits me best. So that's not really been spoken about or even thought about yet, but I can't wait to sort of like get a makeup artist and start talking to them about that. So when it comes to nails, I'm very particular. I like glitter, so glitter is definitely going to be part of it. Even like my nails today, I really like the design. I sometimes do like a little design, or I've kind of done like a little pattern. So let me just show you like that. So I've got like 2 that of just plain colour, 2 that are glitter, and then 1 in the middle that's got like colour and glitter but with a little pattern or something like that. So I'm thinking something like that, but probably with white and silver, or I might even do like French tips, and the colour, you could put like a line between the white and obviously your natural nail, and maybe the line could be matching the theme of the wedding, like burgundy and navy, or just do like white ombre on a couple of the nails, and then 2 have like glitter, maybe with a few diamonds, things like that. So there's ideas flowing for nails and hair. Makeup is sort of like not quite sure at all. I'm gonna let sort of like makeup artists to do with that, but nothing set in stone just yet. But I can't wait to sort of just finalize all these things, or do hair trials, makeup trials, and just plan it as you're going along. Okay, what have we got next? So obviously talked about centerpieces, about those balloons. Now we've kind of changed our mind on that, and when I say we, obviously I've spoken to Terry, and my mum's sort of like in on the ideas as well, that we're gonna save the balloons to have around the room, so more of like a room decoration. And for the centerpiece, I'll show a picture here of what we kind of like. So it's got like a nice wooden board in the middle with a vase with, obviously there's that flower again, the gyp, and probably put some roses in there as well of the colour theme, white obviously being a main colour in it, obviously with the wedding dress, and it's just a nice colour to complement the darkness of the burgundy and navy, and probably red and blue flowers in there, and then have some candles going around the bottom. Now the venue that we've chosen, they don't allow real candles, which is absolutely fine in my eyes, because I wouldn't want it to be a fire hazard anyway, especially with it sitting on a wooden board. And obviously having like napkins around and things, so I would just have it on those LED candles. You can get ones that look really realistic as well, and they can sometimes flicker as well, so I'd probably get some of those to put round the wooden board to just make it a really nice centerpiece. So, and I'll also insert a picture here of when we went to one of the venues, they showed having like ivy on the sort of like table, and obviously you can see there it actually had the wooden board as well, but just with like a big candle in the middle. So I wouldn't just have that, but I do like the idea of having like the greenery around. So again, kind of set on it, but there's a few ideas flowing of how it will actually look like on the wedding day. That's why I like that we've given ourselves plenty of time to talk about these things, maybe tweak any of the ideas that we have. Don't always have things set in stone. Sometimes you might think, oh no, I really like this, and then you get to like 6 months beforehand and be like, oh actually let's add this into it, or let's take that away. So it's given us plenty of time, but that is sort of where we're going, the sort of nice wooden board, because it's very rustic for a barn theme, and then having like flowers, candles, and sort of like greenery around. So I think that's going to be really good. The other thing I'm thinking about having on the tables is something else to just not have it so plain. So either like confetti or rose petals, or sort of gems or sprinkles, or I don't know, there's something that I would like that's probably in our colour theme to go on the table. So that's something that we'll have to talk about. I'd really like disposable cameras on each of the tables. Obviously we have our phones, so everyone just takes digital pictures nowadays. Obviously the professional photographers will have their cameras to take really nice high definition photos so that we can put in our wedding album. But when it comes to like the good old days where you wouldn't even have a phone, or I mean you would have a phone probably, but a really crappy camera, but a disposable camera, I used to love taking them on holiday. Me and my sister, I think sometimes we'd get one each. I'd love to just like spin the sort of bit, once you've taken a photo you'd spin it to get to the next film. But I just feel like it'd be really fun for people to take photos from their aspect. So I'd put one on each table, and people can take pictures, maybe have a couple on each table, just because I can't remember how much those cameras take. I don't know if you can get 30 photos or only about 10, I don't know, but if we had a couple on each table and then get them developed, I'd really love to put it in their own sort of special album, even if it's just like a little folder or something, or picture album. I think that would that'd be like quite a fun thing to do that the guests can obviously like get involved in. So obviously I mentioned in my previous video that I really want something extra at the wedding, and we have actually decided that we're going to have a donut wall, which is definitely something that my fiance has requested, so I'm more than happy to do that for him, and a sweetie cart. Loads of people do sweets at weddings. Sometimes they put it on a separate table, so you go up and get the sweets. Sometimes they're already on the table that you're sitting at in like little jars, or sort of like sometimes you can make it up yourself. But with this one, we're going to actually have a cart that have all the sweeties in jars, like you're at one of those traditional sweet shops where they're all in sort of like glass jars, where you can obviously make up your own sort of like pick and mix. We're going to do something like that. Just get a load of sweets and put them in these jars, and the cart itself, so I'll actually show you what we've sort of ordered. So this is the sweetie cart, so I'll just show you here. It says love is sweet, which I think is really cute, and you get all of these jars with it. And then this is the donut wall, so you can see here that it's going to look really nice. We're going to obviously have an area where the donut wall and the sweet cart are sort of like close by together, so you're not too far away from the goods. And to sort of match in with the sort of, it's quite nice that it's white, so obviously very sort of like wedding theme. And we've got a card box, so when people go to weddings they normally give you a card to say like congratulations or thank you for inviting me. So we'll have this box that has the same sort of like card font as the love is sweet that says cards on it, and that will probably go somewhere by the entrance so people can pop their cards in there. And as I mentioned already, that we're probably set on stone in a selfie mirror. Once we have put a deposit down on the venue, I'll be contacting the DJ that we had our engagement, and he's the one that supplied the selfie mirror. So hopefully that'll be sorted, and we'll be 100% having him as the DJ, and hopefully he can help with the selfie mirror as well. So I've probably rambled on long enough. I could talk about weddings all the time, especially obviously like it's planning my own wedding, but as I've always mentioned, it's something that I'm really interested in, like being a wedding planner or a wedding consultant, where I help brides, grooms, bride and bride, groom and groom, whoever it is that's getting married. I'd love to just help them with their special day, just talking about what to plan, what you want, colour themes, venues, sort of like say additional things, decorations, centerpieces, where you're going to have your photographs, how many photos are you going to have, who are you going to have, that sort of thing. It all excites me and interests me. But as you say, I've rambled on too long, and that's it. That is my plans, sort of that I've already told you about, that have kind of been set in stone, and sort of like new ideas that I'm starting to think about now, as you say, like photographers, makeup artists, hair, things like that I didn't mention in my last video. And it's really nice to have something set in stone already, and I can't wait to just keep planning things as I'm going along. I'm always thinking about it, like even though I'm going to be going back to work soon, so obviously I've had a lovely 2 weeks off and I'll be going back to work very soon, it will still be in the back of my mind. Whereas before, when I got engaged, we knew we wanted a long engagement, so fair enough, we'd speak about it here and there, but now it's sort of like we're really getting into it. In November, so in the next couple of months, it will be 18 months until the wedding. So if you think it that way, it's even less than 2 years. So I keep saying 2 years away, but realistically, as the months sort of like match up, it's actually 18 months in November when the wedding will be. So you think 2020 is nearly over. Thank God. This year's kind of been a bit of a write-off. I think we all think like that it hasn't been the best year, and not the year that anyone thought that we would have. But luckily it's going to be over soon, and I'm really excited for 2021 to do more of the planning and to see what's yet to come. Just want to say thanks so much for watching. I can't wait to update you guys more on any wedding plans. As soon as things are set in stone, then I'll do more videos and make sure that you guys know what's going on. I don't want to give too much away, as I said, but I'll do my best to tell you what we've decided and do more videos like this about the wedding. Remember, my social media is always linked down below, and I'm going to try and do sort of like wedding updates on my Instagram as I get closer to the wedding. See you next time. Bye.